So today I'm going to be giving you guys the best settings to run in NBA 2K26. These settings will help especially in 5v5 modes such as Play Now and My Team. And if you know me, man, I've always had an above 90% win percentage every single year. But make sure y'all go crazy and smash that like button and subscribe button while you're here. If we get this video to 200 likes, I'll drop the best defensive settings in NBA 2K26. All right, when you first load into the main menu, you want to toggle all the way down to features. And from here, we're going to be going over 3 settings pages. The first one we're going to start with is the regular settings. Offer it for game difficulty. I highly suggest you go on Hall of Fame, so that way when you're shooting around in offline modes such as freestyle, you'll be shooting on a higher difficulty. So when you play in an online game, I believe the difficulty has always been all-star. That's 2 difficulties down, so it'll be way easier to shoot online. Next up is the on-court shot clock. I like to have this set to the last 10 seconds, so that way it alerts me on the court with the little icon that the clock is obviously winding down. If you set this to full 24 seconds, that means it's going to be on the court the entire possession, and you could easily lose sight of that, and it could just be something that blends into the court. Arguably the most important setting in this video, man, is your favorite team. Make sure you put the Sacramento Kings. Now you want to back out and go back to coach settings. And this is like the most important page you want to really lock into. So if you're eating right now and you got this playing in the background, make sure you finish your food and come back to this video and you're really locked in. But first things first is the adaptive coaching engine. Make sure you turn this off. If you have this set to anything on, that means the AI, the coach, 2K, whatever you want to call it, is going to make adjustments for you on the fly. And you don't want that because you want to be in control and you don't want to be randomly thrown off because the AI changed something. For the next 3 settings, you want to have these all set to manual. So the reason being, for all these 3 things, specifically timeout and substitution, I personally like to call them on my own. I personally like to run my subs on my own. I would hate for my player to get hot and then 2K or the AI takes them out of the game for no reason. Now with the play vision, there's 3 of these: offensive, display, and messages. You want to set all of these to either say all, full, or show all. And the reason being is if you run plays like how I do, which I highly suggest you do, if you want to see my plays in my playbook, let me know in the comment section down below and drop a like on this video. But like I was saying, you want to have all the lines on the court displaying so that way you know when you got to move, know when you got to dribble, etc, etc. For the next 3, play calling and late game fouling, specifically the late game fouling, you want to set all 3 of these to manual. The most important one, like I said, is the late game fouling. So my tactic and strategy behind this one is I set it to manual because in case I'm down, like let's say 5 and there's 30 seconds left in the game, the AI is going to be programmed to go foul if you have it set to auto. And you don't want to bail them out with free throws because unless it's like Shaq or Ben Simmons, you want to try and send a double team and get a steal at the last second to give yourself a better chance at coming back. Now for team communication, this is also very important. I have this set to defense only. And what this does is when you're on defense, let's say your defenders get stuck on screens and they want to switch, they will communicate above their head and you'll literally see a big old icon saying switch. And if you don't have this turned on, obviously you can't read their minds. And then for the last 3, the freelances, you want to have this set to dynamic, repeat on success, and the most important one, the teammate cut to basket. Set this to manual. If you have this to auto, man, your teammates, your AIs are just going to cut randomly. And you don't want that, man. You rather just have good 5-out spacing, especially if you have a team that can all shoot the ball. Last but not least, the controller settings. For the first 3, for all the timing, you want to have this set to all, man. Don't be one of those players that go off of real player percentage. I don't know why they still got this in the game, honestly. Shot timing visual cue. If you don't know what this is different cues for shooting when you want to let go of square. So like jump, this is going to be super fast, whereas release is going to be super slow. I kind of go back and forth between set point and push, but as of right now, I've been having the most success with push. Pro stick function and orientation. You want to have these set to default and absolute. It should already be set to that. This one right here is very important, y'all. Passive dribble hand switches. You want to have this set to disabled. And what this does is it's going to turn off the setting to where your player is going to dribble the ball left to right randomly if you're standing in one spot. And you don't want that because let's say you're in a last shot situation where you got to win the game and then you try to make a move to the left side of the court, but the AI decides to dribble the ball to the right side and then now you're just thrown off and you can't size up or make a move no more. For passing, I didn't touch the skip pass. I kept it on enabled, but these 2 are very important, man. Icon passing, you want to set this to full receiver control. This is what allows you to do a dex pop. If you want a dex pop tutorial, let me know in the comment section down below. And this goes hand in hand with the icon passing, man. The icon lead passing, this is what allows you to move your player in any direction when you flick your left stick after you icon pass it to him. For pass target profile, set this to direction because if you just flick your analog, your left stick in the direction while pressing X, obviously it's going to pass it in that direction. Do I suggest this? I don't. I highly suggest you get used to your icons and do icon passing every single time. And then the last 3 settings for passing, I have have this set to normal, skip pass. This one right here though, the last one is very important. Auto lob to moving receiver. I believe this is set to enabled when you get the game. Set this to disabled. And what this does is it's the AI that's going to make a lob pass when you just make a regular pass with X. And you don't want this. You want your passes to be straight laser passes. You don't want to be on a fast break and your AI decides to throw a slow lob pass that allows the defense to catch up. For the off-ball settings, you don't got to worry about the first two, but the last one, receiver control. This is very important. You want to set this to handoff pitch pass. And what this does is if you hold circle on PlayStation or B on Xbox, your nearest teammate is going to come save you and literally do a DHO or a dribble handoff. And that way it secures a pass off and you don't got to worry about turning it over. For the defense, all I really worried about was the shading indicator and who to guard. I had these both set to on. I believe that's the default setting. And then the last two for controller functions are very important, man. You want to turn off the the vibration function off and trigger effect off. The reason being is you're going to feel like you're stuck in the mud. Your R2 and L2 or RT and LT buttons are going to feel heavy as the game goes on because it's going to really make you feel your player's fatigue. And if you stuck around all the way to this part of the video, man, I do have a fourth feature we're going to go over. The last one is customized HUD. Perfect release animation and sound effects. This is all personal preference, but for visibility, you want to have this set to all shots. That way you can see both not only yourself, but also your opponents if they green their shot or not. Player indicator. This is what goes under your player. So right here, if you can see that little red circle under Joel Embiid, I personally like to turn this thing off. The reason being is if I go off ball and rotate because my AIs are just messing up, it will be harder for my opponent to see which player I'm controlling. That way it gives me an advantage and he doesn't know where I'm at. But if you do like to have it on, I used to have this on like as a training wheel, and what I used to use was the flame, and the color and is honestly a preference. I would use the purple just because I'm a Kings fan, but I would have this set to large, so that way if you struggle with knowing where you're at and you want to just see it immediately, instantly, you can turn this setting on. Shot meter, man, this is very important. Visibility, turn this off. If you're brand new to 2K, this will give you a boost, and all you gotta do is just hop into freestyle and practice with the players or even your my player and just get his release down, because again, that boost is very important. Now for layups, you want to turn this setting on, because if you're a dunker, or even this year, you could be a layup person with slow stepping, euro stepping, and 2K adding a green window, taking out RNG, you definitely want to be able to see it. For free throws, I have this setting set to off because again, same concept for shots. I want that little extra boost that I could get at the free throw line. The graphic is important. Obviously, it can come down to personal preference. I really like arrow 2, man, and what I like to do is set it to the color white and large. This arrow right here will make it so much easier for you to see your green window when it comes to dunking and layups. For turbo, leave it on. You want to know when you have your 3 boosts or not. For injury, I turn this off because injuries barely ever happen. And for takeover icon, I didn't touch anything. I left it as a default. Now for shot feedback, this is very important. For visibility, you want to have this set to all shots. Last year, it was cool running simple. The reason being is because it's an instant green that pops up. But this year, 2K already set the instant green for you. So you might as well set this to all shots, because what this does is, as you can see on the screen, it's going to pull up the coverage, the timing, and the distance. But the most important part to this is that you can see your opponent's shot feedback. So if he greens a crazy shot, or if you want to just know what kind of contest you got on him, you'll be able to see it every single time. Ball handler text, this is also personal preference. I just left it as on. I didn't touch it. And rebounding indicator, I also did not touch the setting. I left this visibility to on. Hey man, like I said earlier, if y'all get this video to 200 likes, I'm gonna drop this right here for y'all. The best defensive settings to run in NBA 2K26 and how to save them, man. And if you want to see the #1 overall pick Cooper Flag go crazy in his insane Play Now Online debut, make sure you click the video you see on your screen, because you don't want to miss out on that gameplay.